I'm Hyunseung Lee. I defected from North Korea after my military service. I had a training with the Storm Corps, one of North Korea's most elite units. This is everything I'm authorized to tell you. I escaped North Korea in 2014. We assume that 200,000 people are imprisoned in North Korean prison camp facility. Most North Korean people cannot enjoy freedom and they don't understand what freedom is and what human rights is. So we get helped by the South Korean government. If we go back to South Korea, there was a high chance that North Korean regime can send an agent to harm us. There was a cases North Korean defectors were kidnapped by the North Korean agents. That's why we think staying in US is the ultimate safety for us. America is the enemy of North Koreans. That was only education we had throughout our lives. And we have museums and every propaganda material point that Americans are the enemies of our nation. Because of the Americans, we have sanctions. Because of Americans, we cannot enjoy our freedom in the world. So that was the propaganda. Sometimes even like normal citizens, it's a joke, but sometimes they blame everything for Americans. If we don't have electricity, and they say that because of Americans. Big nose Yankees. The North Korean people enjoyed the American movies back to 1990s and early 2000s. I still remember I saw many American movies like the Titanic and 007. Because of the Kim family, Kim Jong Un, the second Kim, enjoyed the movie a lot, especially Hollywood movies. So he specifically ordered to those the interpretation company to interpret the many American movies in North Korean accent. But later, those Hollywood movies with the North Korean accent were released to the citizen secretly, not like publicly. So those the movies that circulated among North Korean elite in Pyongyang city. Actually, one of my high school mates was caught by the police, but he made a stupid mistake, and then he said that, how did you get it? And then he told the police that it was from my dad. So entire family relocated from from Pyongyang city. They might travel to Pyongyang, but they cannot live in Pyongyang city. They cannot get the citizenship. There is no internet in North Korea. We have intranet, but obviously it's not connected to the international like internet. North Korean regime realize, they understand the power of the truth and the power of the information. So the regime don't allow anybody to access internet except Kim family members. Pyongyang is the most advanced city in North Korea. There is no comparison. This is the most privileged and most advanced city. It is a very strict system to get the citizenship in Pyongyang city. So if you were living in Pyongyang city, it's most likely you were chosen. The tricky part was after the Soviet Union's collapse and then China turned into market system, everything was collapsed in North Korea. The distribution system, and also many people in Pyongyang suffered a lot with hunger and also the lack of products. Their daily life was impacted. We assume that 3 million people would die because of the hunger. But I was living in Pyongyang city, but I never heard anyone died from hunger. Most of the Pyongyang citizens just had heard the rumor, but they hadn't confirmed anyone. Because of the regime isolated Pyongyang city from other areas. Back in the 1990s, there was lots of homeless kids on the street. But regime is so obsessed with being showed by the people, right? So they cleaned it up. And they locked lots of the street kids on the facilities, and then they're not allowed to leave. And even those kids were forcefully relocated to the coal mine to produce coal. And also they blocked all information coming inside to this city. The products in North Korea, we all procure from China, and even like fruits. Most North Korean officials, including police and authorities, they won't get paid much. Every time when North Korean normal citizens engage with police, and bribery is the key to engage with them. Sometimes we give them cigarettes and money, and they can sell cigarette to the market so that they can get money for their families. So they basically live through briberies. That's the norm in North Korea. It was not easy for us to watch any television show. We only have 3 channels. So one is called Mansudae channel, and it is only for Pyongyang citizens. And also it's KCNA, the Korea Central National Agency channel. It's for all citizens in North Korea. And another channel is something called the Education channel. The problem was we were only able to have like 1 or 2 hours electricity per day. All North Korean media productions are guided by the Propaganda and Agitation Department. On every Saturday in North Korea's channel, we have a program called The Rotten Capitalism. So they show these videos every Saturday. Like they capture those, homeless people, and then some, silly activities. They describe this as life in America. When foreigners sometimes visit North Korea, it is well, cleaned, and then, Pyongyang is a better city than America. I think, it's actually sometimes true because, citizens are mobilized to clean the city, and the regime controlled every aspect of the environment in Pyongyang cities. But in terms of freedom and then rights, we're all same in the restrictions. We are limited, express our feelings. We are limited to move around the country. So we are locked in Pyongyang city. I'm not a normal citizen. I came from the elite class. My parents actually was a normal working class, and they were born in the rural area. And later my father worked so hard, and then he got the promotion from the Workers' Party, the ruling party in North Korea. My dad served the CEO of the Daeheung General Bureau, which is Daeheung General Corporation. Basically manage a shipping and seafood production, and also some oil exports from Russia and Singapore. North Korean elites can enjoy slightly better life in terms of food distribution and the quality of their living conditions in their homes. Songbun system is the regime's policy based on the people's the status. When you're born in North Korea, you're born with the Songbun, whether you are the core class, working class, or hostel class. So that's the Songbun, you were born with that. The first one was the core class and the high-ranking people. Those families are from the Japanese colonial time when Kim Il-sung fought against Japanese. The working class is the middle class, and we have a lower class, and we call them hostel class in North Korea. The worst thing could be happen to those people are restricted from the party membership. And in North Korean society, if you cannot become a party member, and it's done. You won't get any promotion, and you don't have the career advancement, and you are not allowed to have not like a normal life there. There's no chance you have better life in North Korea if you are under the low class with the bad Songbun system. If your parents or grandfather was part of the hostel class, and you have to live with the hostel class Songbun. In North Korea, we often forget about justice system because everything is ruled by the party and the leader. Once you own the party membership, you kind of have a privilege in North Korea, because that's the core element if you want to make a career development in North Korea. Like my friends, even 40 years, some people, still couldn't join the party membership. And I was joined the party when I was 20 because of my military service. So I served military, and the honor for being military service is party membership. I joined the military April 2002. I still remember the day I joined the military. Most kids in North Korea are required to do military service. It was a mandatory service, but the central schools, like my school, those schools are the privileged schools, and the students from the school are exempt from the military service. I'm the only one who joined the military in my high school. You have to serve for 10 years, from 17 to 27. But I only served 3 years and 4 months because we have a system that if you have talent, you could be promoted to the college during your military service. But you have to have your good grade and you have to be recommended by the unit. Those are two conditions. It was really tough. For the first several days, I learned that we don't have toilet papers in the toilet. So the first day I used my sock to wipe, and later you have to prepare your own toilet paper. Sometimes we use leaflets, the books, and also tree leaves. We don't have a proper a shower facility. Every Saturday or Sunday, we go to stream and then riverside, and then we have laundry and then take a shower. So you are not allowed to take a shower every day. And the shocking thing was you cannot have your own underwear. So we wash them together, and then the senior officers distribute underwear randomly. After my basic training, I joined the 4th Corps Reconnaissance Artillery Battalion. Our main mission is to infiltrate enemy's base, and we have to send the coordinates of the enemy's artillery and then the military base to the main unit so that they can launch a artillery attack. The equipment we are using is from World War II. So we are still using Morse code, and we have to tell the differences of the coordinates and how we have to correct the coordinates. We don't have advanced technology there. And sometimes they keep saying that nowadays it is all run by internet and then other electric devices. So it could be easily hacked. And kind of World War II equipments are not easily hacked, right? So North Korea continue the tradition. So typical day in military, the morning session is kind of the brainwashing session. And normally we incorporate material like how North Korean military is super, they exaggerate their capacity. We have bombs like nobody can produce, and even they describe North Korean military as stronger than U.S. military. And obviously we don't have information on U.S. military, right? So there's nothing we can compare with the U.S. military. So as a soldier, and I was young, 20 years old, you have to believe what North Korean regime says. So yeah, I thought if we fight against the U.S. or South Korea, I believed we could win. But later we found out that that's all fake, right? North Korean military is just, I don't know, they are not physically ready or not economically supported. Even we are trained as how to eat in 5 minutes, and we shouldn't talk during our eating. The normal training including tactics and physical training. We don't do shooting much because North Korean regime is very strictly control the bullets, because those bullets can be misused against the leader. That's why they don't allow people to use weapon and then bullets. So the first year, my military service, I was only able to shoot 3 bullets per year. And nobody couldn't figure out who is the best shooter, because we only trained with the empty gun and only 3 bullets. I was paid 50 North Korean won per month during my military service. You can only buy an ice cream with the 50 won in 2004. Basically, no one could make living with the North Korea's payroll system. In 2004, I joined the General Staff Department Operational Division. We have a Combat Tech Research Institute, so I joined that unit, and the unit is so special, only one unit in North Korea. And the mission of this unit is to teach martial arts and throwing knives and utensils and shooting technique to the entire Korean People's Army. The movie Order 27 was the action studs in the movie. Actually, they are my coaches. And then during my service, from 2004 to 2005 at the Combat Research Technique Institute, and the other coaches and the senior fellows at the institutions. It was the movie about during the Korean War, the North Korean special forces fought against the U.S. Army and the South Korean Special Force. And basically just one group and destroy the whole the South Korean Special Force. They want North Korean soldiers trained like those people, without weapon, they can, against 7 or 8. And the North Korean regime wanted to show that the soldiers should be trained like this. So that was the movie, most North Korean boys enjoyed a lot. Every year, we invite 2 individuals from each brigades from the Storm Corps and other special force to teach those techniques to those people. And when they learned those techniques, they go back to their unit, also teach other soldiers. I spent the time with the Storm Corps people for 6 months in our unit. They choose taller, who have an athletic background, and who is a physically bigger, and they allocate them to the Storm Corps. Now they are in Ukraine. I'm very worried about their existence in Ukraine. Even though they are like a Storm Corps elite unit in North Korea, they are not well trained, and they didn't have a proper training regarding their mission. For example, airborne troops, they never had airborne training. They never had a chance to took airplane because they lack fuel, and they don't have a parachute. But in terms of shooting, they provide more bullets than normal soldiers, so they had chance to shoot more than regular military soldiers. But now we learn that North Korean soldiers are in Russia, and the number could be up to 12,000 people. They are being used by the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un and the Russian President Putin for this brutal war. Basically, they are the human shield and cannon fodder. I wouldn't expect to win against Ukraine, but I would say they want conclude the situation as fast as possible. So they want to go back and they want to be alive. I was born in North Korea in 1985, and I also studied in China as a North Korean overseas student. After my graduation from the undergraduate, I did business between North Korea and China. So late 2013, I would remember it's November. So actually the day I arrived in Pyongyang from China, and my uncle was at the train station, and he told me today there was a vice director of the administration department in North Korean Workers' Party was arrested. And he's the guy who were close associate with Kim Jong Un's uncle, Jang Song-taek, and also my father's close friend. I was terrified, and because I also friend of his son-in-law, business partner. So we are worried. And my mom's birthday is December 5th. We had a nice dinner at the restaurant, and then my dad invited one of the generals in North Korean Army, and he attended execution at the time. And he shared the story how those two people were executed. It was the vice directors of the administration department in North Korean Workers' Party. So those two people were executed publicly in front of 100 North Korean officials, including party officials and the military officials. The officer made an announcement that they are the anti-regime activists and traitors of our nation, and they disregarded the leader's order and mission. But those charges are all made, so not actual charges, right? So they put the anti-aircraft machine guns, and they put them and they shoot against them. And after that, they use fire flame projector, and then they burn them, because the following announcement was these were not entitled to be buried in this sacred land. Execution happened in 2013, and after months, Kim Jong Un's uncle was executed. But it was not public execution. Execution happened in the closed facility. From that moment, all of his acquaintances and then fellow associates, including Kim Jong Un's aunt, Kim Jong-un, and her friends and then acquaintances and then associates, they were all executed until September 2014. So, including my friends and my friend's grandfather, father, I was in China. So I was preparing for returning to North Korea, and I had several job interviews, including General Reconnaissance Bureau and then North Korea's Defense Commission. But the people inside told me, do not come back for this time. Just to stay away from this entire incident. It was really dark period for the country, and no one felt safe, even the high-ranking people, and no one thought that they have a future in this society. So September 2014, that was our last visit to Pyongyang city, and my dad and I visited, and we felt extreme anger and no hope, and our entire trust in that system collapsed. So as soon as returned to China, my father proposed that, having discussion about our defection. It was a Chinese big holiday. We all knew that there might be a bug and our electric devices are tapped by the Chinese police or North Korean agents. So we drove to the park. We put all our cell phones in the car just in case. Without any electric devices, we just walked for a park for a while, and we had a discussion. My dad had some belief in that system. He wanted to make this society better. He wanted the North Korean society open and make economic reform. But after Chang's execution, after the reversal of reforming policy, my dad, lost all hope. We moved quickly. But we have to make, our case properly. We thought that our family relatives remaining in North Korea, could be punished. So, we wanted to trick the North Korean regimes. So we left everything behind. We didn't touch any, valuable stuff in our home in China. So we just left them. Because we know the North Korean system, and there was a process of investigation. And if we sell everything, if we take everything, with us, then regime immediately conclude that they defect. So regime is processing where they're going, where are they, and they cannot conclude whether we defected or we are missing. So they conclude our case as a missing case. So we flee to the third country. Because of the route protection, I cannot say the name of the country because it's only limited, route. So we flee that country, and later, we will get helped by the South Korean government. They figure out that we are in South Korea. So only 2015, they showed my grandmother, uncle, and aunt on North Korean television show to threaten us to come back to Pyongyang. There was no direct threat message in the video, but my grandmother emphasized, I want to see my grandchildren, so please come back. And my aunt and my uncle also emphasized that, my dad also awarded as a hero of labor in North Korea. That's the highest civilian honor in North Korea. So they emphasized that you are the hero of the nation, why you defect. But we see their eyes, the fear, and we sense that that is the direct threat to our relatives remaining in North Korea. If we, collaborate with South Korean government, if we still, stay in South Korea, they might harm our families. So we came to United States in 2016. My relatives are still in North Korea, and we learned that my families are all, fired from their previous jobs, and they are relocated to the rural area, and they are heavily monitored, so they cannot get the chance to defect. Some of my family members are in prison. My uncle worked for one of North Korea's military company called Korea Songhi Trading Company. And then in 2018, the US government seized a North Korean ship. And the ship was under that company's name, and the company was sanctioned by US Treasury and United Nations. They seized the ship under the US law. But the North Korean regime learned that, we were in United States, and, my uncle worked for that company, even though he was fired after we left, but they still need a scapegoat for this incident. So they put my uncle for life in jail. There were about more than 10 prison camps. And we assume that 200,000 people are imprisoned in North Korean prison camp facility. When I was in high school, several my high school mates were disappeared, but we didn't know what was happening because just sharing such information is very risky for us. We could ask a question, where he's gone, where is he now? And then they said that they were all arrested and then they're gone. So that's it. We hear the rumors their grandfather or father were arrested because of the anti-government activity, but we didn't question what anti-government activity, what are the charges. The three-generation punishment is the system that North Korean regime always applied to the elite class. So once your grandfather or father committed any crime, they committed crime against the regime, and then that was the charge on them, and they were sent to the political prison camp with their entire family. So when I say three generation, I mean including your grandfather, father, and your son. I had a friend who went to college together in China, and his grandfather was one of the associate under Kim Jong Un's aunt. But his grandfather was retired, but entire family in 2014 was sent to the political prison camp because his grandfather was Kim Jong Un's aunt's associate. And my friend didn't do anything about that, and he was just born with the family. But because of the three-generation punishment in the system, him and his entire family sent to the political prison camp. So that's the system. That's the punishment every elite in North Korea got. My sister, she lost her roommate in front of her in Chinese college. Her roommate was a North Korean student, and then her friend's father was also part of the Kim Jong Un's uncle's association. So her father arrested December 2013, and there was a long investigation on his family, but she was still studying in China. But it's only 2014, and suddenly North Korean agent showed up and then tell her that, pack your thing and then we'll go back to Pyongyang. And from that moment, she knew what was going to happen. So while she was being transported, she texted my sister, "Hey, can you pack my stuff in my, room so that you can send me to Pyongyang, home address." We shipped the things to Pyongyang, but no one was there. The home is gone. Kim Jong Un is being called a great leader and great general, and Kim Jong Un himself called like one of the greatest leaders in the history, but we don't have the same respect like his grandfather and father. Becoming leader is based on his achievement and the contribution to the nation, but he didn't do anything. Now becoming, leader of nation doesn't make any sense to me. Many people question his experience and the capability. For example, Kim Il-sung founded the nation, and he fought against the Japanese and Americans during the Korean War, and he built industry in 1960s, 70s. And for Kim Jong-il, the second Kim, he established a regime as a fortress of their own kingdom, right? And he built lots of economy. They established the foundation of the long-term Kim family. When I was growing up, the regime didn't mention about the nuclear weapons. I think it's a difference between the second Kim and the third Kim, now Kim Jong-un. The second Kim is very like a sneaky guy. He wants to hide everything, but he actually developed a lot in terms of the military and nuclear capacity. But he never said that publicly. Only, he mentioned we have a nuclear facility because of the South Korea's reaction. But now the third Kim is more like active guy, aggressive, and in publicly saying that we have nuclear weapons. And then he said that he wants to make North Korea a nuclear state. That's why Kim Jong-un is more obsessed with missiles and nuclear weapons. He thinks this is the only thing he can show to people of the leader's achievement. And he understands he cannot make a great prosperity economically because economy should be related to market economy. So he won't able to show any economic prosperity. So only thing he can show people that is missile development and then weapons, advancement. North Korean productions, movie and the media productions are all produced by the North Korea's propaganda agitation department. At the end, you have to incorporate the great leadership of the Kim family and greatness of the country and then party and the leader. So you have to appreciate the great leader. We wanted President Trump to learn what this country looked like and what type of Kim Jong-un's leadership is. President Trump somehow shared a love-letter relationship with Kim Jong-un. When North Korean people discovers the fact he, write a letter to President Trump, it's almost like, treason against the nation. Publicly, they criticize the United States and criticize the U.S. President all the time, but secretly, under the scene, he just begging sanction relief and other stuff. So But I would say Kim Jong Un already tried to rebuild the relationship with President Trump. Most North Korean people have very conservative, feeling. When I say conservative, like kind of tradition, because of the regime, don't allow people to have, like dyed hair and then wearing jeans and drinking Coca-Cola. It is prohibited. But when you see Dennis Rodman pierced and tattooed and everything looks like super strange to North Korean people. And then when North Korean people learned Kim Jong Un, welcomed him as like a good friend, and then many people actually questioned what's the relationship, why he liked Dennis Rodman. So we later learned out that Kim Jong Un was a big fan of Chicago Bulls, and he originally wanted to invite Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan denied it. So they got Dennis Rodman instead. I believe North Korea eventually will have freedom, but for now, if we don't pressure or if we don't share information with North Korean people, I think the regime will continue being isolated, being oppressive, and being like aggressive towards the international society. People tend to believe the North Korean regime's propaganda, and the brainwashing process is constant. So even though you don't believe from the beginning, but if you keep listening, and then it's unintentionally you were brainwashed. So we need to share the truth and proper information with them so that they can make informed decision. I lived in China, in America, so I experienced the 4 different countries. And I think the most important thing for me was the freedom. Because most North Korean people cannot enjoy freedom and they don't understand what freedom is and what human rights is. What will happen after Kim Jong Un? They will close the border and they will recall all the military generals and the party leaders who have influence over society. And once, they settle down who will be the next leader, and they believe they can control the society, and then they will announce Kim Jong Un's death. Maybe, after several months or year, some, general or the political leader doesn't like the new leader, and then he might, propose, political competition or the small conflict involving military activity. I wanted to share one thing with the audience who watch this show. The life without internet, life without any, nutrition you can enjoy here. That's the normal life in North Korean people. So I hope American people can, help the North Korean people to change the society. Not just, emphasizing Kim Jong Un and the nuclear weapons, but not just American people, but people across the world have to help North Korean people change the society to be a fair and then under the democratic system. So dictatorship shouldn't be prevailed longer, and I think we should end the dictatorship soon. So I have a mixed, feeling and reactions from the beginning. So I lived in the city for a long time. Yeah, I even like China, North Korea. And first I landed at Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C., Virginia, actually. I thought like I landed in the wrong city. I thought like the capital of the America should be like a fancy and glorious, city. But the airport was outdated, honestly. So I was like, wow. Homeless situation and also drugs. Honestly, I think most of the socialist countries, like control the dictatorship, they manage those issues forcefully, but it looks like better than America. I don't enjoy American food. Many people questioned, when I said, I'm not a fan of, hamburger and pizza. They said, what? Are you serious? But, my mom and my sister loves pizza and hamburger, but my dad and I, never enjoyed. The Korean barbecue is the best. I studied English when I was in high school. High school called the Pyongyang Foreign Language School. My school actually showed some American movies and then animations. So including Home Alone, I enjoyed very much. So, did my friends. And also I saw one of the animation called Hunchback in Notre Dame. My teacher emphasized the difference of the English accent and American accent because, the Hunchback said that, oh, water, and then, the water, differences. She emphasized, I still remember she emphasized the differences. So, cool. But in North Korea, we were taught in English, British accents, not American accents. I always wanted to study in US, so I wanted to compare the education system with North Korea and United States. I chose Columbia, so I studied public administration so that I can, utilize my expertise when I go back to North Korea. The critical difference between the North Korean education and the US education is US education provides more opportunity for students to think critically, like more creativity and give more opportunity to express their ideas. And most Asian system, especially North Korean system, you don't allow to share your opinion. When I interact with young Americans, they really don't understand the freedom they enjoy here. They have every rights to do everything here, even though they think they were restricted, but still compared to North Korea, they enjoyed a lot. If we go back to South Korea, there was a high chance that North Korean regime can send an agent to harm us. So most North Korean agents in East Asia or Southeast Asia, they have a passport of their nation. For example, they are citizens of, Laos and Vietnam or Cambodia, so they can easily travel to South Korea with the passport of that country. So once they got mission, they can conduct a assassination in South Korea easily. We won't be safe in South Korea. That's why we think, staying in US is the ultimate safety for us. I work as a consultant for a nonprofit organization, and mainly I want to build the future. So I organized a North Korean Young Leaders Assembly 2 years ago, and I bring 10 North Korean escapees every year to United States to show them the US system. We engage with government agencies and think tanks and United Nations to share our stories and learn about the international norms and the political system. And also, I'm doing a consulting project on the reunification on the Korean Peninsula. So it's also part of this project, and unification is important. We want to rebuild a North Korean society. I'm not a language expert, and many people told me that defected has, some type of negative meanings, and escapee is rather have not the, entirely positive, but still like better than defectors. So I call escapees, but I prefer to be called North Koreans.
Hi, I'm a producer and authorized account. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe and comment with more topics that you'd like us to cover in this series.